Hey guys, well, welcome to the third episode of the Cardigan Cowboy, and wow, it is nice to be back. I had to take a little delay for had to do my day job for a few months, and we're back in action. And this show is not brought to you by TX Whiskey, but woo, stuff. It's good stuff. So I have a little treat for you today. I don't know if you've ever had your gun taken away by law enforcement while you were doing nothing wrong, but I got to interview a young lady who did, and it's a phenomenal, crazy, mind-blowing story. So I'm excited to show you that. But first, before we get off into that, I want to tell you just real quick what we're about. We're about great people receiving great conversations from great guests while raising money for great causes. And we don't choose the cause. If this show ever produces any money, we have vowed that any profits will half it and give half of it to the nonprofit chosen by the guest. So we're really excited to have great people on, and everybody asks me, what is your show about, Taos? What's your niche? So as far as niche goes, I've thought long and hard about this, and we want to mimic and go down the trail that Joe Rogan has blazed. He's one of my heroes. I love the guy, although our views don't always align. I just love what he does, and he's had conversations on his show that's totally changed my whole outlook on life. So when it comes to our niche, what we do, it's simple. We want a platform for good people to be able to see real, raw, successful people in their conversations and how they got to where they are. And through those conversations, I feel we'll better ourselves, right? So that's our niche. Good people listening to good people. Might enjoy a little whiskey and a cigar too, but hey, personal preference, no big deal. So yeah, that's what we're about. We couldn't do this without some sponsors, and so if you need a hat, whether a cowboy hat or ball cap, we got you covered here at the Cardigan Cowboy. Right behind me, I have a cowboy hat from Shorty's Cowboy Hattery. They are awesome. They support this podcast, and we cannot believe that they've actually put their name out on the line to support us. So we're really excited about that. It's kind of cool. She's the first lady to own a cowboy hat company, and she started from the bottom, like back in the 70s, 80s. I get that wrong. Sorry, Shorty. She started out with just a tea kettle, warming up steam and shaping hats at rodeos, and she was inspired whenever her father had passed, and she went to go get those hats refurbished. And through that refurbishment, they were ruined. And so she aspired to make a company that made some of the best hats and also refurbished hats. So if you have an old cowboy hat you want refurbished or you want a new one, go to Shorty's there, OKC Stockyards, or you can find them on Instagram, and they're phenomenal. Shorty's awesome. She's a real cowgirl. I mean, she's the real deal. So we love them, and thank you, Shorty's, for everything and the support that you've given. Next up, if you need a ball cap, Oki brand. These people, they are phenomenal. Wade Reeves, he's the owner, and he's one of the kindest, coolest people I've ever met. While I was gone working, he would always holler at me and be like, "Get back in the studio, man. Get to recording. You got this." And so thank you for that, and thank you for supporting this. And that's the other thing that Oki does, is they support up-and-coming artists and people chasing their dreams, just like this. And I love that. Go get you an Oki hat. You can find them on Instagram, the Oki brand. You can find their website. What I love about their Instagram, you can go right into shop mode. You can hit their shop. You can go get you some hats loaded up. And whenever you go to check out, just put in Cardigan Cowboy, all lowercase, all one word, and you get 15% off. So, yeah, you're welcome. There's that. So we made it through the sponsorship, and I wanted to do a little deal where Cardigan Cowboy does a PSA, a public service announcement. So for today, our PSA is, look, guys, it's fall weather. It's cardigan weather. Also, what that means is it's blazer, sports jacket weather. And there's an unsung rule about a blazer and a sports jacket, and that is the bottom button on a blazer never gets buttoned. That's right. Whether you have 2 buttons or 5 buttons on your jacket, you never, ever button the bottom button. I feel like people need to know this, because not only do we here at the Cardigan Cowboy love people that look good, look slick, you also want to look like you know what you're doing. So take it from us here at the Cardigan Cowboy. You heard it from us. Never button the bottom button. Think of the bottom button like that ex-girlfriend. The one that was really hot, that you outdid yourself. Looked like a Kim Kardashian, but had the attitude of Karen. Yeah, it's just like her. It's just there to look good, but serves no purpose whatsoever. So just like the button, never button it. Just like that ex, don't go back. You don't need that in your life, man. Hey, ladies, if you see a good-looking cowboy and he's got that button, that bottom button, just walk up, reach down there, grab it. And we're still talking about the button here. Just unbutton it, tell him you're welcome, and then tell him to buy you a drink. So there you go. Cardigan Cowboy told you, when you're out and about, you're looking slick, don't button the bottom button. Do not button the bottom button, geez, and you'll look like you know what you're doing. Look sharp, look good, feel good, do good. So there you go. You had a PSA from Cardigan Cowboy. Hey, we'll get on to the show. The lady that we interviewed or had a conversation with, her name's Elaina Kay, and she is a hustler. Man, she's a musician. She writes music, and she embodies the cowboy spirit. And it was an absolute pleasure to have her. She has an album. She's also playing numerous festivals and things down in Texas as we start to open up, handle this COVID as well as we can. She is phenomenal. She's a great person, and she was a jailbird. So I think her story is amazing, and I really enjoyed our time with her. So if you don't mind, check out Elaina Kay. Hope this conversation has some value for you guys, and give us your feedback. Reach out. Please like us, comment, find us on Facebook, Instagram. Also, exciting news. Forgot. We're on Spotify. So we got approved by Spotify, so we're really excited. You can find us in all our episodes on Spotify, and we can't wait to get you guys more and more. I'm about to die over here. Need a drink. Wow. Excuse me. Sorry. All right. I'm going to die. COVID, is that you? So, we love you guys. Thanks for the support, and I hope you enjoy. Here's Elaina Kay. Thank you. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, Miss Elaina Kay, welcome to the Cardigan Cowboy podcast. It's so good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
It's so good to pull you from that lovely little state below us called Texas.
The smart one.
The smart one. Yeah, right. That's right. Well,
the bigger and better, smarter one.
You are my first musician.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
First musician on the podcast, and
this is my first podcast.
No way.
I think so. Yes.
Oh, this is an honor.
It's our first, yeah.
Well,
yeah, I'm glad I finally
we
made this happen.
Here's the first. Cheers. Yeah. May it go swell.
Hey, it's going to be awesome.
Well, as the podcast is starting, the listeners probably already heard I'll give a little throw out to what you are, but you're a musician, and you have been affected by the coronavirus for sure.
Definitely.
What do artists do in these times?
You bear down, and hopefully you have another skill set to make money. In the live streams, obviously, we've all started experiencing the live streaming thing. So that was cool. But it's been really tough because, I was out on one of my biggest tours in the West Coast with Jason Boland and the Stragglers when all this hit. And so I was all excited. I got to Denver, Colorado, and manager says, hey, this is the last text message I ever want to send you, but shows are being canceled. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Shows are being canceled? He's like, at first we were just lowering capacities. And then by the time I got to Denver, it was, you got to go home. I was like, what? So I had one show that was separate from the tour that they still said, come on. It was in McCall, Idaho. So I played my last show in McCall, Idaho back in March before Corona hit. And when I was driving back those 30 hours, that's when everything was shutting down, the gas stations, the restaurants, they started doing drive-through only and all that. So I'm looking forward to getting back to playing shows, but I think it's going to be a while before it's anything like it used to be for live music, unfortunately. So.
Well, from a guy that loves live music.
Yeah.
Tough time right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it hurts for the people who, and it hurts the people playing music, but I think it equally hurts the people that like to go and listen.
It's hard to have something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like right now we don't have much to look forward to because everything is the unknown. Okay, if something kind of sucky is going to happen. I want like a concrete date when it's going to get back, but we don't know what that is. We don't know what that looks like right now. So we're just waiting, playing it by ear. But in the meantime, I get to do podcasts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get to go to the lake. And
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get any better than this. Really. I mean, this is about as big as it gets.
I think this is the pinnacle.
Yeah. I looked at my Facebook. I got like 15 followers. So
yeah.
Look out,
We're good.
We're doing it big here.
We have it made.
It's so cool. You're here on the ground level of this thing, and hopefully one day I would be so proud to say it is huge, and I've got way more followers than 15, and every one of you guys. I appreciate you so much. And
they're all related to you.
Yeah, like mom brought quite a few to the table.
Good. Yeah.
She even activated some of my grandparents' accounts just to follow.
Yes.
Helping me out. But yeah.
That's where it counts. Yeah,
So
well, I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be invited and a part of this, especially, and to support you while you're getting this thing started. It's exciting.
It is.
Fun
it
stuff.
Is. And I'm excited to you do have some shows coming up, right? I mean,
yeah. So since all this has happened, for a while I played 0 shows, and then I started doing private parties and house concerts. So this coming weekend is actually my first weekend of like 3 shows, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, at venues. So we'll, Oh, I take that back. I played 2 weekends ago. Last weekend, it was my first show back with the Dirty River Boys. And it was like, honestly, the one cool thing about being shut down is I was talking to the Dirty River Boys. They're they're from El Paso. And we were all just talking about how we're like, man, we're kind of like nervous again. We're kind of like, maybe we took it for granted because we were doing it constantly. It was every weekend, we're playing tours, it almost got, we were just so used to doing it. And so we were like kids, like, again, about music. We were all so excited and kind of like had that nervous, giddy feeling again. So that's been cool.
I actually was walking down the street in Tulsa, bar hopping a little bit, and heard some live music, and I missed it so much. I went down, and I'm not a hard metal fan, but that night I was.
Hey.
It was something live, and it was good.
It was live.
And I don't know. I don't know. I'm ready for it to be back.
Yeah.
The way it was.
Yeah, I think we have maybe taken it for granted, like community and meeting up with people and listening to art and music and lyrics. And so, yeah, hopefully it's going to get back. It's not going to be exactly the same, but that's okay.
On to the next subject. You went to jail.
So quick transition.
Let's just segue right into that.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, you couple times.
Oh, one back in the day in college. That doesn't really count.
It don't count. What, back it down Tarleton?
At Tarleton, yes.
Tarleton.
I've been in the drunk tank, but I will tell you what, that was nothing like the full-blown checked in, booked, make your bed in jail situation. That I experienced back in October.
Oh, it's recent.
This is recent, yeah.
And you were in, if you told me correct, you were in Ohio?
Ohio.
Good old Buckeyes. Hate them anyway, man.
Ohio. I hate that.
Ohio State. Those fans, man.
I was in Defiance, Ohio is where I went to jail.
Defiance.
Yeah. Ironic, right?
That's an ironic name.
I'll never forget the officer taking me to jail, and I said, sir, I have to tell the whole story, but fast forward to him taking me to jail. I was like, sir, I have no idea where I am. Can you tell me where I am? I don't even know where I'm going to jail at. I don't even know what state I'm in. I was on tour. And he said, haha, you're going to laugh. I'm like, probably not, but this is not funny. He said, you're in Defiance, Ohio. And I was like, you've got to be. Can we cuss? Is that?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
It's explicit.
Okay. I was just like, you've got to be shitting me. Like, I'm in Defiance, Ohio. So anyways, do you want the whole story?
Yes, we need to tell the whole story because it has to do with gun laws. And it absolutely goes all over me. Like, here again, just that dumb redneck that it's like, I got the Second Amendment, man, and you totally didn't. You didn't have the Second Amendment that day.
Yeah, no, okay, so I'm a touring musician. I was on tour with Rhett Miller from the Old 97s. He's a total badass. It was so cool. We toured the East Coast and Midwest. It was 2 weeks. Time of my life. Like, you know, it was just cloud nine. So I played the last show. The last show was Detroit, Michigan. And awesome show, sold out show. So my tour manager was like, hey, let's start driving back to Texas, you know, try to, you know, just start driving tonight because the tour was over. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm exhausted, you know. So I'm actually asleep in the passenger seat. And she wakes me up. She's like, hey, I think I'm getting pulled over. And I was like, what? Are you speeding? She's like, yeah, I guess so. And I was like, whatever, it's cool. Just play dumb, you know, like we'll be fine. Surely we'll get out of it. No big deal. Speeding ticket. Okay. She gets pulled over. He comes to my side. I'm in the passenger seat. Pulls us over on the highway. Asks me, and I'm waking up, right? I mean, I just got off stage, and then the next thing I know, I went from stage to jail, like very quickly. And so, best time of my life to the worst, real quick. Anyways, he was like, asked me for license, registration, and I was like, yeah. And I'm like, you know, when you just like, I don't know if you do this when you get pulled over, but like, I forget now that my insurance is on my phone. And so I'm like pulling it. I open my glove box. Like, it's just kind of like habit, right? Well, I happen to have not my gun, but my bullets in my glove box. And so when I opened it, he's like freaking out. He was like, why do you have bullets? He's like, do you have a firearm in here? And I was like, yes, sir, I do. You know, and he's like, well, where is it? And I said, it's in the back, you know. And he's like, well, give it to me. And I was like, okay. So I reach back there, grab it. It's in a case. I mean, it's not like I just like was like, oh yeah, it's right here. I reached in the back. It's in a zipped up case in the bottom of a bag actually. And he takes it. It's loaded. I mean, obviously, like what is the point of an unloaded gun? And so he starts unloading it and stuff.
I'd beg the question, what's the point of it being in a bag at the bottom of a bag, inside a bag, in the back of the vehicle?
Yeah, true.
But
exactly. But that probably helped my case some. Because really I just had it it was just me and another girl, my size, and we were staying in, you know, low budget hotel rooms every night, all over from Washington, you know, DC, Virginia Beach, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Detroit. And
you were protecting yourself.
Absolutely. Like my dad, when I left for tour, he was like, make sure you have your gun. My grandparents gave me that gun. And he said, make sure you have your gun, you know, staying in hotels and whatnot. And I can't take it into venues. And as far as Texas goes, in Oklahoma, I'm sure is the same. It's 51% sales and alcohol. Can't take it in. So I was following that rule, you know. But in Texas and Oklahoma, it's legal to have a gun. And I had my CHL. So I mean, I've been around guns my whole life. I grew up in the country. We have guns all over our house. So anyways, he makes me get out of the vehicle, and my tour manager's just like freaking out, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to take you to jail. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I was like, sir, I'm just trying to get home. I'm trying to get back to Texas. From like where I'm from, this is completely legal. I'm a female. I'm protecting myself. Obviously there's no bad intention with what's going on here. Like, I just felt like he could have used discretion on my situation. So anyways, he takes me to jail, and I'm like calling my dad. I'm freaking out. I mean, I'm crying. I'm really upset because he was like, this is a felony, right? So I'm freaking out. I'm just trying to get home. So anyways, he takes me to jail. They fully strip search me. And I think it's kind of funny. I was in like yoga pants and a sweater. I'm like, do I really look threatening? You know, I mean, I know that's like, so they made me change into the whole jumpsuit thing. And,
going from Lululemon to a jumpsuit.
It was Lululemon to a jumpsuit. I'm not even going to lie. Not even going to lie. And, the gal taking my fingerprints and all that stuff, I was like, can you just kind of drag this process out? Like, it's almost morning. Like, can I just hang out in here with you? Or like, I don't want to go in there. And she's like, sorry, I have things to do. So they fully booked me into Defiance, Ohio. CCNO, whatever that stands for. And they were like, do you know how to make your bed? And I was like, does it look like I know how to make my bed? No. So they like helped me make my bed. And I was in a women's correctional facility, like 50 other women, and saw the judge the next day, and he was pretty much just like, well, you're not in Texas anymore. So like, you're breaking the law here. So they charged me with a fourth degree felony, put me in another cell, read me all the like what could happen, which was basically like they told me I could go to prison for like years. I mean, they're scaring the shit out of me. Like, that's what they do. They just scare you. Like, and I just felt like so violated because I'm someone who's never been in trouble before in my life. Like, they could see that immediately. Oh, she has no record whatsoever, no criminal history. No, I don't even have a DUI. Like, so, I don't know. They were just scaring me. And then the next day to transport me, I'll never forget this. The guy, he said, get on that chair on your knees backwards. And I was like, what? Okay. And so I did it, and so they shackled me. They put shackles on my ankles. Like I was going to run away or something. Like shackles around my ankles, my waist, and my wrists. And then the next thing I know, I hear the like chains, and like it's like a group of male inmates. And they're all like just staring at me. And I'm like, obviously I think they had been in there for like a while. And I'm like the first thing they see. And I was like, are y'all going to put me in the van to transport me with them? Like, and they're like, yeah, sorry, we don't have like another one. I was like, oh.
Well, Elaina, I hate to tell you, I mean, you're a solid, out of 10, you're a solid 11 in real society, but inside prison, I'm telling you, you're like, can't even imagine. Them boys hadn't seen blonde hair, blue-eyed woman, and
I did not want to know what they were thinking at all. And but it turns out, so then they said, well, no, we'll put you. Don't worry, we'll put you in a cage in the van. They won't be able to touch you. I was like, oh, well, that's really comforting. I really, I mean, you're just completely like, you don't feel like a human being at this point, and so. But meanwhile, they're all like, so you're a singer? Like, I'm like, oh, we love Rhett Miller. We love the old 97s. Like,
wait, inmates are saying this?
The, like, officers.
That's, oh.
I mean, it was, like, kind of cool, but also kind of like, I was like, cool, let me out then. Like, now, like, I mean, they were just, like, being funny. Like, but I was like, this is my worst nightmare. And you're like, I don't know, just, they just couldn't believe it. They're like, because they would see my license. They're like, you're from Texas. What are you doing here? I was like, well, I was on tour, and yeah. So, and they're like, oh, well, we don't normally pick up people like you. It's normally, like meth heads and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, then. Anyway, so, but I will say that the inmates, I did chat with them in the van ride, and they were actually really cool. Honestly, the saddest thing about this is those inmates, those guys, made me feel better and about the situation than anybody else, because they know the system. They've been in and out of prison their whole lives, and they were like, because I'm crying. I mean, I was not tough about this, I will admit, at first. And they were like, why are you crying? We're getting out. And I was like, I don't know. I think I'm coming back. I don't know. I think my life, I'm like dramatic. I'm like, I think my life is over. And the guy like driving the van, he was like, are you really a singer? Anyways, whatever. So then I'm talking to the inmates, and they're like, oh, you're good. Like you're not going to go back in. Like I was like, really? Okay. And so they were actually really nice, and they were telling me like what all they've done to get like thrown in jail, and I don't know. But I ended up getting out, but I did actually get harassed by several officers that found me on social media after that. I don't know if I told you that. So I ended up like having to tell my lawyer that like inappropriately, like I don't even know what you call them, like not the bodyguards, but like, yeah, like the jail guards and stuff. Like, like once they found out I was a musician, they like found me on social media and like messaged me, and like someone even started posting my mugshot all over social media and stuff like that. Like,
did it look good?
Yeah, it did. Did
you smile?
No, I look pissed. I'll show it to you. Yeah, no, I look really pissed and like really like what? But I mean, I did have like my hair and makeup kind of done because I just got off stage, so I didn't look terrible. But
Please give that to me. I need a shot
okay,
to put on this podcast.
I thought about making T-shirts with my mugshot. So
I can't believe it.
I
The
can't
American in me
I
just
know.
goes all over me because,
Yeah,
like you said,
I was very upset. I mean, and then I had to hire. I mean, and then all the money that I had to pay. Like after that, I almost missed my sister's wedding. I had to stay in Defiance, Ohio for 3 days. They let me out of jail. Had to buy a hotel for 3 days to make my preliminary hearing in 3 days. Finally got to go back to Texas. Barely made it to my sister's wedding that I was in, and then had to pay thousands of dollars for a lawyer also to fly back to Ohio. It's not like this was like an hour down the road from my house. Had to hire an attorney that, if this happened in Texas or Oklahoma, I could just hire my buddy, like someone that I know, my attorney friends. But you have to hire an attorney in that county.
You have attorney friends? Oh, it must be nice.
Yeah. Do you not? Always have to have attorney friends. Attorney friends and friends with boats. You're good. So.
Man, life lessons right there.
Life lessons by me. So yeah, it was wrong. It was messed up. It was wrong. My family was really upset. I was very upset just because as a woman and as someone who I have been stalked, I've been harassed multiple times. I've been assaulted in my lifetime. And I have to put myself out there. I can't go with what I do for a living. I can't go hide and be in a hole and be like safe. Like I put myself out there for a living. I put out where I'm going to be and exactly what time every single weekend, So, it is a vulnerable feeling knowing that people can pretty much find you whenever. So yes, I truly 100% believe that I should, have protection, and that there's no way in hell that should ever get taken away from me.
I wonder if you would have had a case, like if you would have got mugged or hurt or something on the way back without your pistol.
They wouldn't have cared. And honestly, the saddest part is like really, it was all just money. They really just wanted money, and it's the law. And the cop was like, oh, this is all on my body cam. If I don't take you to jail, I could lose my,
What, your $25,000 a year job, man? Like, come down, I'd been like, be my bodyguard down here. We'll pay you that. We'll give you that salary.
Yeah. And, but then it turns out when my attorney tried to pull body cams to make sure I was, we were stopped for all the right reasons. For some reason we didn't find any. Isn't that weird? Isn't that funny? So, it was bullshit. I got it. It was eventually lowered to a 1st-degree misdemeanor. So basically I'm on probation for like 2 years. And if I don't get any trouble, but if I do, like if I was to get a gun charge right now, I'd go to jail for 2 years. So I'm kind of a badass.
You jailbird, you. Jeez.
Oh, I'm just not going to go back to that place ever. I mean, I think if I got like the best paying show in Ohio, I still wouldn't do it. I would. You should go just to get on stage for 1 minute. Yeah.
And just tell them to go.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just a how dare you type thing, as a woman,
well, as anybody. And I think we'll segue this into the whole BLM thing right now. You got treated unfairly for money, for reasons unknown, whatever.
Right.
I think the Black community feels that way about some of the ways they've been treated.
Right.
Unfairly, not handled, not handled like a human being.
Right.
Because that is not how you treat a human being.
Right.
And so.
Absolutely. And I can say that I experienced that. I know what that felt like in that moment.
Yeah, you weren't getting no white privilege.
Absolutely not. I couldn't beg. I couldn't cry. It was harsh. It was very harsh. And you know what also really upset me is I was so honest to that cop. And I almost feel like if I would have lied, would I have gotten out of it? Like when he asked me, ma'am, do you have a firearm in here? Because he had no reason to search the vehicle. I mean, well, okay.
The ammo,
okay, whatever.
You would have.
Okay.
You were good, be honest.
But I was completely honest and just did everything he said and was just like, yes, sir. You know, I don't know. There was no reason for him. I wasn't drunk, you know, which,
Yeah.
you know, if it was another show night, that could have been a possibility. That really saved my life, that I wasn't intoxicated. I wasn't driving, but still, I mean, after shows, a lot of times, you know, I've drank, but after that show, I didn't, because it was the last one. We were driving back, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, so.
Well, I'd like to make a shout out. If there's a cop officer that would like to be on this show and talk some sense into us, because I think you and I both have had bad experiences with cops. I had the same deal kind of happen in the great town of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I was in a facility. Now, some would say, you know, these things don't happen in Sunday school. Yeah, and I wasn't in Sunday school, but
yeah.
it was a Saturday night. But
Yeah.
absolutely stuffed, cuffed, roughed up a little bit for,
Right.
at the end of the day, it was a public intox where I absolutely begged for a breathalyzer. I begged for a sobriety test. They did not give one to me. And the reason I begged for it was actually I wasn't feeling well that night. I did not drink. I didn't drink any. A brawl broke out where somebody hit me in the face. And me and my cousin got roughed up pretty good.
Wow.
Sad deal though. I was a little more compliant. I was a little more sweet, I guess,
Yeah.
talking to him.
Yeah.
My cousin wasn't, and man, the same deal that happened to the gentleman, that all this BLM stuff happened. It happened. I mean, they had knees on him,
Really?
and it took him
Really?
weeks to get over. And we're talking just out two-stepping on a good
Right.
night, come out, a brawl breaks out,
Right.
and we get grabbed and thrown on the pavement. And it was a weird deal. And if anything comes out, I hope two things come out of the BLM deal. And I'm not meaning to hijack your interview, but I want, I don't know, in a way I want to say something, and that is like, one, I hope the Black community, I hope their leaders step up and they're heard, and I hope it does change the way we handle individuals based on color, ethnicity. And then the second thing is, I love good cops. Like, I'm
Right.
all about good cops.
Yeah.
Here's my deal with a cop. You need the training. You're supposed to be the coolest cucumber in the kitchen when things get hot, right? Like,
Right.
these crazy cops. My sister-in-law got pulled over, and the cop screamed at her, telling her to get out of the vehicle. It's 101 degrees, and she's got a 1-year-old infant in a car seat. And she's like, look, he's yelling at her to turn off the truck and come to the car. And she's just like,
okay.
look, I have a
Not
kid.
gonna happen.
This guy's got a gun drawn, yelling. And I'm like,
No.
dude, that messed with her. That's not
Absolutely.
good. And as a cop, I would love to sit down across from a cop and not in an argumentative way. Just
Right.
go, look, you guys got the toughest job. I get it. And you do handle some things that I couldn't. I could
Right.
never have that job.
Right.
But
That's why we're not.
you're telling me stuffing and cuffing a woman who's got a gun in the back while having a permit, showing the proper things that it's hers, she owns it, it's for
Right.
safety, she's driving cross country. You really serving the people?
Right.
Are you really serving the people by
Right.
putting this person?
Exactly.
And I don't care if it's a woman, man, black, yellow, blue.
Right. Right.
You're a human.
Right.
And
Yeah.
come to find out, we're not in Europe. Like, we're in America, and that's
Right.
one thing that we do is we have the right to arm ourselves and
Right.
protect ourselves. And that was taken away,
Yeah.
and not by, and what's crazy is it's even worse. It was by a government. It was by
Right.
it wasn't
Right.
like a thug pulled you over or
Right.
a
Yeah. I mean, I tell this story to people who aren't gun people, and they're like, "What? That's still messed up."
Oh,
Like,
and I feel like now I have to be politically correct. By the way, thugs are not just black people. There's a lot of people of different ethnicities that are thugs. Politically correct, my God. But
yeah.
all I'm saying is like, it was your own. It was like the people that are supposed to be protecting you took it from you.
They took my protection away.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I'm scared to have a gun now. I should not be scared to have something that could save my life. So, but I mean, I am. And so, yeah, but I got the gun tattooed on my arm after it happened.
No
Oh,
way.
by the way, they never gave it back either.
Oh, you didn't get the gun back?
No, they wouldn't even give it back. And it was a gun that my grandparents gave to me, and I just don't get it back. I don't know where it went. I don't know, like, if what they do with it, but they wouldn't give it back to me.
That pisses me
like,
off
I can't
so much.
go back to Texas and buy another gun, you know, and be a safe, responsible gun owner that I am, you know. So, I mean, I live alone, you know, in downtown Dallas. I sleep next to a gun, you know, as I should. So.
All right. Well.
So.
Where do we go from there? I feel like punching something.
I know. Now we're all riled up.
Let's have a drink. Gosh. My gosh.
I kind of want to try that whiskey.
No way.
I don't know. I just want to try it.
It's TX whiskey. You should like it.
I should.
You should. You want me to make you one?
I'll just try yours. If you're not scared of the Rona, I might give it to you. I don't hate it.
The only reason you're saying that is because it's from Texas.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into your music career, guys. Sorry, got off on that whole deal. That just you told me that story and I couldn't believe it.
I know.
Like if you were in Canada, I could have believed it. You're in Europe, where it's like absolutely no firearms. No citizens are supposed to own firearms.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, is it ignorant to not know the law in every other?
Ooh, that's a good case. If you're passing through a state, are you supposed to like?
Yeah, that was their argument. They said, you have to, if you own a gun, you have to responsibly know the laws in every single, like everywhere you go.
So then let's say, what do? You drop it off in another state that allows it? Put it in a storage something?
I mean, okay, for my gun, of course we're still talking about this. For my gun to be legal in my car, and this is hilarious, it had to have been unloaded in a box, a locked box, or in a trunk where I had to get out of my vehicle to retrieve it. Yeah. That's their law.
Yeah.
That is Ohio's law.
No, like I've definitely been robbed before, and I was like, 1 second, sir.
Hold on, bro.
I need to go
Ma'am.
to the trunk, unlock this box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, just go ahead and try to steal the stereo system while I.
And so their law, because I did my research. Obviously, like I really wanted to know what this is about, and their law is in place because so you can't shoot a cop, right? So that's their law. That's why it's there. But I'm like, okay, but because people would laugh when I told them the story. They would be like, "Did you shoot at the cop?" I'm like, "No, it was in the back seat in a zipped up leather case. Like I couldn't have shot a cop if I wanted to. It's like he came up to my window. I wasn't gonna be like, oh yeah, hold on. I don't know. It's just I don't know. So, but going into music from that, I
screw it. It's not even. Let's just.
You're like, I don't care about your music.
We need
anymore.
more whiskey.
You're an outlaw. I wrote 2 songs about that though. I did write a song called Defiance, Ohio with Rhett Miller. So that will be recorded as soon as I can safely get into a recording studio, since that's that's also been affected by coronavirus. I was like, I got off the road and I was like, okay, well, with this time off of shows, I'll get into the recording studio. I'll record new music. And then that wasn't happening either. So wrote that with Rhett, and also wrote a song called Mama's Bullets, another kind of feisty song about women and guns. So.
Yeah, and point of really just don't have bullets in in your console.
Yeah, I really fucked up there, didn't I?
Damn it.
Where do you keep them?
In the gun.
Well, like your extras.
I got something put down a dragon, yo. Like I keep them. That clip holds quite a few. If I go down after 9.45 caliber bullets, Taos went down in fighting hard.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel on the gun. I don't carry extra ammunition with me.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like when you're concealed carry in a vehicle, it's going to be like just a wham bam, get yourself out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're like, oh, I'm concealed carry and those are 10 banana clips full of ammo that I plan on just sawing people down. It's like,
Yeah. And it's not like I had the bullets in there. I think I just bought them and then like loaded the gun and then like put them in there and forgot.
yeah,
Like how I don't open my glove box ever.
yeah.
I forgot, honestly.
Well, I hate that you went through that experience. I know it's no fun, and dude, being on that side of the wrong end of the law is,
Yeah.
oh man. So,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I feel like punching something. I've
We're
already
gonna
said
go
that.
shoot some
I
shit
know,
after
dude.
this, I think.
All right, I think that was a solid 30 minutes just
Shit
on.
meaning like, not people.
And for y'all listening, that's like, geez, that's a long time. Look, we're talking about our rights being taken from us here. Like that was
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
hey, I lived through it and I learned, and I mean, I just learned that I feel like now I have more to say, and I have a story, and it makes me have more of a voice about it,
Yeah.
because it's that really happened.
And whoever your football team is, when they play Ohio State, you really have a reason to. Yeah. What's a Buckeye anyway? Jeez. So, something cool is you opened for Wynonna Judd.
I did.
Is that right?
That's right.
Is she cool?
She's the best human being. She's so amazing. Like, you know how they always say like, about meeting your heroes, and like how let down you could be if like this person that has been your hero your whole life and you meet them and they like suck, how like devastating that could be. With her, it was like everything that I would want my like hero to be, like someone I looked up to be. She was everything. She's a strong Christian woman. She is proud of it. She preaches about it on stage every night. She gives the best hugs in the world. She told me, this is going to be I'll never forget. She's just like, this is going to be a long, hard road, but don't give up. Don't give up. And I cried a little bit when I the first night when I hung out with her backstage in the dressing room, and she was like, it's okay to cry. She was like, you should cry. I was like, okay. She was like, I cried when I met Bonnie Raitt. I was like, oh my gosh. Because that was one of her heroes. And so it was just so cool. And full circle, crazy thing is the first song I ever sang on stage was Have Mercy by the Judds. So it was, I mean, if I would have told the 9-year-old me that one day I would be touring with her, I would be like, no way, when I first started out. So first song I ever sang on stage, and then got to open up sold out shows for her. It was a dream come true, and she was awesome.
Man, it's so cool whenever somebody turns out to be just as awesome as what you think.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Yeah, it is rare. It definitely is rare. It definitely is. So, and it is such a tough business. I can see how people could be, not the best version of themselves. I mean, it's a really hard, I think everyone thinks music as being so fun and glamorous because they see the party, the fun, the entertainment side of it. But a lot of people don't see how rough, it is on your body and health, and just traveling and driving and just exhausting yourself every single night. And until you're at a super great level, high level, it's you're doing a lot of driving yourself, maybe with one other person, you're selling your own merch, you're hauling in your own merch, you're playing the show, you're eating fast food, you're staying in low budget hotels, you're not sleeping great, you're not eating great, so anyways.
No, I love it. I'm listening to you here because I wanted to look up an artist that I wanted to make sure is the right guy. Yeah. What you're talking about is how it's tough. I was watching Garth Brooks has his documentary on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I need to see that.
I was watching it and I was amazed at, like you said, everybody thinks it's glamorous and that's kind of all you see. Mm-hmm. You don't see the hard work in the back, and it really shows him backstage. Lining out the crew and giving direction and showing. But Travis Scott is who I had to look up. I watched his documentary.
Okay.
And it gave me such an appreciation to
Right.
those concerts, and whenever you start getting into entertaining people,
Yes.
and he had a vision, right? Like
Right.
he's taking what's in his head and making it real.
Uh-huh.
And in his case, I remember part of there's part of the documentary where it's like this roller coaster. He's like rapping on this little roller coaster it's not a real roller. It's like a made up over people, and it's crazy. And he was at back like talking to him, like trying to explain it, like where he needs the lighting and it's like, all we see is the roller coaster with cool lights and like it's going, but it took somebody like to really push that and get everybody on board and do things. And that's why I find music and artists, musicians so awesome, is because it's a tough industry to be in. And if you excel at it, you have to have you have to have a vision.
Right.
And trying to get people to see that.
Yes.
It's so tough.
You have to always remember that. And like the thing is like, people expect to see the best version of yourself every single night on stage and selling merch, and they're not paying for you to have an off night or a bad night or be in a bad mood or not feel well or be tired or show that you're tired. I mean, there's no room for that. Like, you have to be on point no matter what's going on in your life, how you feel, because people, that's what they want to see. That's what they're paying to see. That's what they're there for. And that's honestly where I really, really respected Wynonna, is she was always on it. She was always on her A game, I think. And I think what makes it is like, if you truly, truly love it and have dedicated your entire life to it, like she has, I mean, I think that's where that genuine spirit comes from, because, it's not easy. But yeah, I think rodeoing helped me with that part a lot. Like, living on the road already, like rodeoing, and I think that really groomed me to be a musician, honestly, as far as the traveling goes, because it was pretty much the same thing, just instead of horses, it was dudes with long hair in my band.
That's right. Poor guys. Did you put them in the back too? Throw them a little hay and?
Yeah, no. They smelled bad, just like the horses. They were a pain in my ass, just like the horses. So same thing. They both costed me money. How to feed them? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, how did you get broke out in the music world? I mean, whatever inspired that?
So, I always wrote songs. I think I wrote songs before I even knew I was writing songs. I had a little bit of I had a turbulent childhood. Just mom getting remarried a lot and like moving a lot, and things weren't always stable. When we kind of talked about this, like I always kind of felt like maybe the focus wasn't on me. So I wrote about it, instead of acting out. Like, some kids I feel like rebel or like act out and like get in trouble or do drugs and stuff, and like that wasn't my thing. So I just wrote a lot about what was going on, and that was my coping mechanism, and just started transitioning that into songs. But I was already singing. I started singing when I was about 9, 10. My Meemaw, who loved Wynonna Judd, and like, this is why I started singing her songs to begin with, put me in acting lessons and voice lessons and tap dance, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with being on stage, or being in the spotlight or whatever, as narcissism.
Such a horrible way to put it.
I know. No, I just truly felt. Honestly, it's weird because I feel more comfortable when I'm on stage in front of a bunch of people than I am sometimes just like, one-on-one or in a small group of people. Like, I truly feel happiest and more comfortable on stage. So, and most people that scares to death. So, explain that. I don't know.
You're made for it. That's good.
Yeah. I think it was just like a something God put in me, and I wasn't gonna ignore it, you know. So I just never let it go. And there was many times where along the way things have gotten super tough, and you know, but something always happened to be like, oh no, this is why, or like this is why I do this. And maybe it was getting on stage. Like sometimes I think I could forget, but the moment I'm back on stage, I'm like, this is why I do this. I love this. I'm gonna keep going 100% full steam ahead, and good things will come, and they have. So it's just taken a long, it's a long road. It's not a,
Would you have any advice for, say there's a beautiful young lady listening to this wanting to start out in the music world? Would you have any advice or any things that you maybe stumbled a little bit on the way?
I would just say, just like Wynonna told me, just don't give up. Like you just have to bear down constantly, and don't, as a girl, try not to take things personally. And I mean, men are sensitive too, so don't take everything personal, and be honest. Write honest music. Write with better people than you would probably be my biggest. If you're just, it's kind of like we're talking about, like if you want to go to the NFR, move, live in Stephenville. It's kind of like if you want to be a great songwriter, write with the best songwriters that you can get in a room with. Don't ever put your pride so far aside, and yeah, make yourself better any chance you get. So that'll be my advice. So yeah, I don't know. I just got started. My dad gave me a guitar that he was like, well, when I was rodeoing, I took this guitar around to impress the women. I never learned anything on it, so maybe you can. And so I did. I took it, and I still have it hanging on my wall to this day. It's very special to me.
That's awesome.
Stop saying awesome.
I know.
Oh, now I'm going to call you out every time.
I was telling Elaina that I feel like I say awesome too much, and I'm going to start donating $1 to a nonprofit just every time I say awesome.
Yeah, they're going to get real rich.
It's going to help somebody.
It'll be awesome.
It's going to be
when it helps somebody.
Great. It's going to be great.
It's going to be so rad.
So when are we going to have more music? We can find you on iTunes right now.
Yes, please. It's on iTunes, Spotify. It's on all the download, all the platforms.
Yeah.
Digital platforms.
And do you have a website?
Website is elainakay.com, just like it says on your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
It looks great.
I forgot I wore this.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely one of those guys that wears the band shirt when I go watch the band.
Oh, you are?
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah. I'm bringing it back. I think there was a time when that was cool.
Oh, I don't know.
And the reason it's cool is because, like, I usually have the shirt before I even go see the band. I ain't one of those schmucks that go get merch at the concert. I get it before I get there, yo.
Yeah. It is a really sweet thing, and that was, like, the one thing I loved when I was on tour with Rhett Miller is he's got, like, this cult following, right? And they all showed up in his vintage T-shirts, and it was so cool.
That's cool.
I think it's more of a rock and roll thing. And he's super, like, rock and roll. But it was really cool seeing these people have his, like, old 97s T-shirts, and they were wearing them and buying more, and thank you to people who buy merch, because anyone who doesn't know, like, the music format has changed so much, like the way things are now with, people don't buy records anymore. Record labels aren't really the same as they used to be. People don't get record deals, and we have to tour to make money. You don't, because of, how things have changed with streaming and with, online. So we have to tour and we have to sell merch to make money. So thank you to people who support that and buy merchandise from artists. I don't think people realize, like, how important it is. So.
Well, I like your merch. I know you can find it right on your website.
Yes, it's all on the website, elainakay.com, under merch. There's shirts and koozies, and there's even what do you call them? Tumblers? Like the Yeti cups.
That's cool. Yeah. So you told me that you got to play at Green Hall.
Yeah. So with Wynonna, that was
That was with Wynonna?
It was. We did 2 back-to-back nights because she sold it out. Obviously, it's a small venue for her. Yeah, it was 2 sold out shows at Green Hall back-to-back with her. Yeah.
I like that place. I like that area.
So iconic, you know. It was like, yeah, it's legendary. I mean, it's a legendary dance hall in Texas. I mean, there's so much history there. Yeah, when I was there, it was kind of like, it was one of those moments in my life that I was like, I just want to pause my life right now. You know, like everything was perfect. Like I was opening for my hero. I was playing at a legendary dance hall. I was with my best friends. I was on a tour bus, which I'm not to that level, but I was very fortunate. Yeah, so
that's cool.
it was really awesome. And then Corona happened and everything sucks now. So
you just said awesome, so that's $1 too.
All right, I lost $1.
Well, I know
So
this platform, we want to really help up-and-coming artists, and I think you're not just up-and-coming, you've established yourself, and it's an honor that you would come up here and be part of this and help Cardigan Cowboy, and then we want to do everything we can to help our artists. So if you ever have an up-and-coming artist that you know of that we could help promote and get out here, and then I'll make some shout-outs. I got to get to looking around Tulsa because there's got to be a way I can start pulling that talent up here to Tulsa, and we have a huge
Definitely.
music scene here in Tulsa. I mean, we're
there's
like
a lot of talent here.
yeah, it's like a little Nashville.
Yeah.
It's like a little Nashville.
Yeah.
So I heard.
So you hear.
Sorry, I hear. I mean, I hear.
I'll have to spend more time here then. I did not know.
Yeah, I hear Jack White actually loves Tulsa.
Really?
He loves the Canes. One of his favorite places to play.
Oh, I do love Kane's Ballroom.
Yeah.
Haven't played there yet, but
But you
I've been
played at
there.
Mercury.
I have.
Yeah.
Played at Mercury several times.
Turnpike has
Good
played at
lounge.
Mercury. It's like you've stood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sitting at the Mercury. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss them. I miss Turnpike.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were one of my favorites. I mean, still one of my favorites. I was hooked as soon as I saw them for the first time in New Mexico. Actually, I saw them in Red River and followed them like crazy. And so, music's tough. Good example right there.
Music's tough.
Music's tough.
It
the
is.
lifestyle is tough.
And I hope Evan, the lead singer, is doing well now.
I hope so too.
I hope he is. And it's really special. The Turnpike Troubadours actually practiced and played in a little town called Okemah, Oklahoma.
That's right.
Home of Woody Guthrie.
Where we met.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Turnpike was kind of around that area, and they did a lot for the community. They brought a lot of people. But one time they did a private show in like Okemah has like their old movie theater, like the one-screen theater.
Cool.
And they did a cool concert there. I got invited to go to that, and
Nice.
they were phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, like,
So
I
good.
get we all miss them. It's got to feel good to be missed. Like it does. Like they left at a time where they were truly loved, and they didn't wait maybe till they burn out. Everybody's tired of them.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the players, like the musicians in the band. I mean, they're all a band, but like, you know, Evan can do his solo thing, but like that was their life.
Yeah.
That was their livelihood. But I have been excited to see Kyle Nix, the fiddle player, is putting out some solo stuff. So, you know,
I would love to meet that guy.
he's awesome.
Is he?
Yeah, he's really nice. Really, really good. Really good guy.
Another guy that we talked about that I would love to meet, and that's the drummer for, is it the Flatland
Flatland Calvary.
Calvary? That's
Yes.
exactly what I was going to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to meet that. What a cool story, and that band rocked. I went and saw them in Oklahoma City. They opened for Casey Donahue, and they were awesome.
They are awesome and good people too. And my good friend Caitlin Butts is engaged to Cleto, the lead singer, and so it's been fun watching their success, and I love seeing people do well that you know is like a really good person. You know, so that's always good.
Well, I think a lot of
Makes
people
me
feel that
happy.
about you, Elaina,
Aw,
and the fact that you
thanks.
came up here, you let me show you Tulsa. We went two-stepping.
Hell
The Girl Can Dance, y'all.
Yay!
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
We had fun,
Yeah.
and and we got a little lake time. We even got on a boat.
Yeah, we did a lot in 24 hours.
Dude, we had a good time.
Yes.
And man, one thing that I just really found automatically about you that I love, and that is you rave about everybody else. You never once talked about yourself. You never once tried to self-promote yourself. And then I listened to you sing. You actually have a guitar in the living room, and you grabbed it and played. And I think your talent speaks for itself. You don't even have to say anything. And I think you are absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
And I just love how you promote others. You have said so many great things about so many other artists and coming up, and you've never once tried to take away from anybody. And I love that because whenever I do my day-to-day job, I always tell people we want an environment where making others look bad doesn't make us look better.
Right.
We want that environment where we build each other up.
Yeah.
And you're a walking example of that.
Well,
like I have actually you've made me fanboys of other bands and people that you've introduced me to just through iTunes and jamming out with you on the way to the lake. That's cool. So
it's cool.
I don't know. I think a big heart like yours is hard to find, especially in that industry. And I just hope you go listen and show up. And I can't wait. I'm going to come down and definitely go to a show.
Yes.
And I'm going to take this shirt a notch up. I might go and have it on the back I might add, I'm with the band.
Okay.
Is that cool? Or something corny like that?
But you can do anything in it.
I'm gonna do me.
You can
Is that
make
cool?
it. You can make it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone can, you can. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, is there any last words, Elaina?
Don't go to jail. No, that's terrible. No, thanks for having me. This is cool. This is fun. This was a good. I love doing spontaneous things, and I'm glad I drove up here and did this. And so I hope it, keeps climbing and doing well. I think it will. You're
awesome, and you embody that cowboy spirit that we're looking for, and you're kind and you're loving, and yet you can handle yourself on the dance floor on the lake. Yeah. And believe it or not, this woman helped my dad change a flat tire.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I think you're awesome.
And we got to see your dad today. So that was, we did a lot.
Any day you could see Daddy Bart's a good day.
Awesome.
Elaina, I wish you the best of luck, and Cardigan Cowboy's always here to back you. So just keep us in tune with whatever you have coming next, and we're going to promote it. So
I will. All right. Awesome.
Check out. See ya.